today we will going to discuss functional literacy and improving financial literacy in the Philippines. So first, we will going to discuss functional literacy. Functional literacy. First, we are going to define what is literacy. Literacy is the ability to identify, understand, interpret, create, communicate, and compute using printed and written materials associated with varying contexts. Literacy involves a continuum of learning in enabling individuals to achieve their goals, to develop their knowledge and potential, and to participate fully in their community and wider society. What is functional literacy? Functional literacy is a significantly higher level of literacy which includes not only reading and writing skills but also numeracy skills. The skills must be sufficiently advanced to enable the individual to participate fully and efficiently in activities commonly occurring in his life situation that require a reasonable capability of communicating by written language. Functional literacy refers to the practical skill set needed to read, write, and do math for real-life purposes so people can function effectively in their community. Functional literacy is about developing and enhancing the skills our whole society needs to function. If we don't have individuals with mathematical knowledge, reading and writing skills, or analytical abilities, we cannot have functioning communities, businesses, or governments. Reading and writing words and numbers is not enough to assess literacy. People need to be able to understand and use those words and numbers for practical purposes. What is the difference between functional literacy and literacy? Well, functional literacy refers to personal reflection on what textual and visual environments are presuming, while literacy refers to social learning and interaction in a productive way in a specific domain. There are 4 levels of literacy. First is the below basic literacy, reading and writing words and numbers in very simple documents, like for example, locating easily identifiable information on a chart, signing a form, adding a dollar amount to a deposit slip. Second is basic literacy, performing simple skills to understand short texts, like for example, reading a pamphlet, using a TV guide, comparing tickets prices. Next is the intermediate literacy, performing challenging skills to understand long text, like for example, looking up information in a reference book, summarizing a long article, placing an order and calculating the costs. Next is the proficient literacy, performing a creative and critical thinking skills to understand dense or complex texts, like for example, comparing viewpoints in editorials, interpreting statistical graphs, measuring and calculating the cost of foods per ounce. So next, we have the 8 types of functional literacy. First is the media literacy. Media literacy is the ability to access, evaluate, and create messages through different types of media. Next is the religious literacy. Religious literacy is the ability to interpret religious scriptures and communicate with different faiths. Next is the financial literacy. Financial literacy is the ability to manage finances and make decisions about money. Next is the computer literacy. Computer literacy is the ability to use computers. Next is the legal literacy. Legal literacy is the ability to comprehend laws, so you are able to follow policies and legal procedures. Next is the scientific literacy. Scientific literacy does not necessarily mean memorizing facts. Rather, it's knowing how to conduct experiments and identify evidence that supports or contradicts preconceived beliefs or hypotheses. Next is the health literacy. Health literacy is the ability to understand healthcare information, particularly for making medical decisions or lifestyle choices about nutrition, exercise, sleep, and other factors that affect physical and mental well-being. Next is the civic literacy. Civic literacy is awareness of how government works as well as your rights and responsibilities as a citizen and voter. The functional literacies we have been discussing are really important in the professional world. In just about every workplace, we are required to interact with people in digital environments, use information in appropriate ways, and create new ideas and products collaboratively. The 21st century economy demands highly skilled workers with knowledge in science, technology, engineering, and mathematics. We can justifiably say that functional literacy is essential for a functional society. So we are down to our next topic. So our next topic is about improving financial literacy in the Philippines. First, we are going to define what is financial literacy. Financial literacy is the ability to understand and effectively use various financial skills, including personal financial management, budgeting, and investing. Mandel defines financial literacy as the ability to use knowledge and skills to manage one's financial resources effectively for lifetime financial security. Huston explains that financial literacy is made up of two elements: understanding and use. Hastings refers to financial literacy as follows: knowledge of financial products, example, what is a stock versus a bond, the difference between a fixed versus an adjustable rate mortgage. Next is knowledge of financial concepts, inflation, compounding, diversification, and credit scores. Next is having the mathematical skills or numeracy necessary for effective financial decision making. Next is being engaged in certain activities such as financial planning. There are 5 determinants of financially literate person. First is plans, saves, invest in stocks, accumulate more wealth. Second is less credit card debt. Number 3 is when they borrow, they manage their loans better, paying off the full amount each month rather than just the minimum due. Number 4, they refinance their mortgages when it makes sense to do so. Number 5, less likely to use high-cost borrowing methods. So where does your money go? Our income goes to accounts payable or savings. So next is support for parents. Next is for our children's education. Next is for household expenses, insurance premiums, and other expenses. Financial literacy among Filipinos. The Filipino mindset upon receipt of salaries, as commonly known, is that upon receipt of salaries, spending comes in before saving. What is left is saved. If there's none left, then there's nothing saved. According to study conducted by Philam Life, 96% of Filipinos are concerned about their own and their family's health. However, only 16% of them are prepared to pay for medical costs in case we are diagnosed with a critical illness. There is a rising number of senior dependents or those retirees who depend on their children for financial help due to lack of financial education. Financial planning teaches individuals to be responsible when it comes to their finances and instills the discipline needed in order to keep track of their financial goals. Financial planning involves educating Filipinos on the different types of goals that they should set: short term, medium term, and long term. Short term involve monthly living expenses that need to be paid or the person's basic needs, including the setting up of an emergency fund. In contrast, medium term goals are those you want to achieve in 1 to 5 years, like buying a house or a car, while long term goals are those that take longer than 5 years to achieve. Where are we now? As much as 53% of Filipinos feel that they have average or poor overall level of understanding about money management and personal finances. Filipinos are generally pragmatic and appreciate the value of saving, but only 36% save regularly. On average, Filipinos say that their current savings would only last 9 weeks. Only a third make a monthly budget and stick to it. Only 40% are able to pay off the entire outstanding balance of their credit cards every month. Financial protection and independence are dire needs that are set aside. What can the government and financial institutions do to make Filipinos financially literate? First, develop financial education policies and set up robust financial products available to the financial intermediaries and their customers. Next is develop financial education policies and set up robust financial consumer protection frameworks to ensure that consumers are informed and understand the financial products available to them. Involve financial service providers and other key stakeholders to build the financial capabilities of the youth and adults through a variety of delivery channels. Empower teenagers to deliver financial education on issues such as savings to younger children. This peer-to-peer approach is useful because young people tend to listen to their peers more than adults, and the participative approach helps foster youth as agents of change in their own communities. Personal finance and financial literacy is nothing but knowing how to keep what you earn and do more with what you keep. Financial literacy is understanding how you can build your personal wealth.